Good morning, millennials. Today is June 23rd, 2025. Current time at 10:44 a.m. Eastern Standard. And the current temperature is hot as hell here in Northeast Ohio. I believe it's already up to 80 some degrees this morning. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Good Morning Millennials. I am your host, Matt to the 90s, but you can just call me Matt. So let me bring back some nostalgia for you all today. On today's agenda, we have none other than one of my favorite topics, which is video games. Not only video games, but specifically video games for those in the 90s. Ooh, almost choked my coffee there. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into PC Quest Top 50 Video Games of the 90s. Coming in, number one. Again, this list has nothing to do with me. Thank you for all the likes over there on TikTok already. Much appreciate you guys. And for those on TikTok, I'm sure I'll say this a bunch of times. TikTok is giving me nothing but problems when it comes to live streaming. So if you are looking for the full experience and seeing what others see on YouTube and Twitch, we are live over there as well. And then you can follow along and see everything else too. But I do appreciate you all joining and staying. So, number one on this list, in no particular order to me specifically, is Super Mario World. Super Mario World is one of the most popular 90s video games. I bet every teen has played Mario. It was developed and published by Nintendo. It's an arcade video game where, I'm sure I don't have to explain what Mario is, but of course, Super Mario World definitely deserves a spot on this list. Make sure the music's not too loud there. Turn it down in my ears. All right. Moving right along. Number two, Final Fantasy 3. I'm a huge okay, so I don't know if I specifically ever played Final Fantasy 3 specifically, but I definitely love the Final Fantasy franchises. What's going on, everybody on TikTok? Thank you. Welcome. Good morning. As well as everybody on Twitch and YouTube, too. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, man. This coffee's getting to me. Final Fantasy 3 was released in the summer of 1990. It's a role-playing 90s video game, the third part of Final Fantasy series. It was the last series for console format. Final Fantasy was developed and published by Square. Now the game is available on Google Play Store for Androids. Oh, I didn't know that. But Final Fantasy is definitely a top game for me. I don't know about Final Fantasy 3 in particular. But hello, welcome. Number 3 is Road Rash. I don't know if you guys remember this game. This is pretty much a game where you raced motorcycles. It was like a motorcycle racing game where you would just try to beat the crap out of the other players or the other racers to try to get them to fall. Every 90s boy's favorite motorcycle racing game, Road Rash, was initially released in 1991. Its last update rolled it in 2023. The 90s video game was developed and published by Electronic Arts for platforms such as Game Boy Advance, Sega Genesis, and etc. I remember, I think it was the Genesis that I remember playing Road Rash the most on. Thanks for all the likes over on TikTok. I see you guys down there. Much appreciated, much love. Thank you all very much. And again, if you're just joining in, TikTok is giving me streaming problems. So if you would like to see what the rest of everybody else sees, you can join us over on Twitch or on YouTube. But if not, and you just like looking at me and my microphone and what's playing on the TV behind me, I appreciate you all for sticking around and staying. So yeah, Road Rash on number 3 on this list was definitely a very nostalgic game, a very aggressive type of game. Coming in at number 4, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I'm not sure why 2 in particular, but Sonic the Hedgehog obviously is a classic staple of the 90s video games that anybody and everybody, I'm sure, loves. As you can see behind me here, hold on, let me see if I can get everybody to see. Back here on the wall, I do have some Sonic on the wall for my Sonic fans out there. Number 5, The Legend of Zelda. I mean, I guess it depends on which one you're talking about. I was never personally like a huge Zelda fan. I know there's a huge fan base for Zelda. I know a lot of people are. Zelda just wasn't a game that I really got into. I think that's just because the first game that I ever really got into was RuneScape, and 23 years later, I'm still playing the same game. Never ventured, never ventured far from RuneScape. But The Legend of Zelda was a first console game to have a save feature. It was one of the longest running action adventure 90 video games. Zelda was designed in 1986 by a Japanese game designer and developed by Nintendo. Its last release was The Breath of the Wild. I do remember The Breath of the Wild. I watched some streamers play it. Again, I appreciate all the likes out there. Thank you very much on TikTok. Over 1K likes. You guys are so awesome. Thank you. Number 6 on the list, Mortal Kombat. So fighting games, sports games, those kind of games I try to stay away from. I didn't really have the patience for it. wasn't really for me. Anything competitive, we'll say, definitely wasn't my type of game. Welcome everybody on TikTok. Thank you for joining in. Welcome to Good Morning Millennials. So at number 6 on the list is Mortal Kombat, a classic 90s video game series that was introduced in October of 92. It was developed by Midway Games, Chicago studio, and later was occupied by Warner Brothers. It was released as a fantasy horror. Hold on a second. Hey! Dang dogs. Sorry. Rocco! Dang dogs. All right. Anyways, moving right along. Number 7, Wolfenstein 3D. I believe this is kind of like a Doom game. I never really played this. Let me know in the chat if you guys have. But I do believe this was just like a Doom version. The first-person video game was simulated by 1981 Muse Software. I don't know. Anyways, Wolfenstein is a third in the Wolfenstein series. The 90s video game series was developed by ID Software and published by Apogee? I don't know. Big words again. Don't mind me. Welcome. All right, number 8 is Dune 2. Again, I was never into the Dune games. I know they were pretty popular in the 90s, and I'm sure it still has some kind of following till this day. But Dune 2, The Building of a Dynasty 90s video games, is an adaptation of David Lynch's 1984 movie, Dune, and Frank Herbert's science fiction novel. It is a real-time strategy game developed by studios and released by Virgin Games. It was launched in the winters of 92, and now the game is available for PC also. Again, I know the Dune movies, games, it was all a series. But again, nothing that I was personally into myself. And at number 9 on the list is Doom. Of course, everybody remembers Doom, and Doom is still one of the greatest we'll say classic video games. Welcome in, everybody on TikTok. How are we doing this morning? Good morning, good morning. But Doom is definitely, I mean, it's a well-known staple video game from the 90s. It originally launched in 93. There's various adaptations of the game, including a novel, comic, board games, and movies. And of course, Doom 3 was just released. I think. I don't know. Again, I like Doom. Wasn't a huge fan, but definitely a pretty iconic, nostalgic game there for you guys. Coming in at number 10 is Virtua Fighter. Again, me personally, I stayed away from the fighting games, the sports games, the games that had too much competition, we'll say. Not much of a competition guy. My nerves. We'll say my nerves couldn't handle it. But Virtua Fighter is a fighting game series designed by Sega and released in October of 93, and later it was updated in 2012. The 90s video game is extensively recognized as the first 3D fighting game released. I do, yeah. Yeah, it was the first 3D video games were pretty interesting, we'll say. Definitely, I mean, you can see by the picture, very blocky, very chunky. But as a 3D fighter, yeah, definitely wasn't my style of game, but hopefully for somebody it was. Master of Orion, I don't know this game at all. I've never, honestly, never heard of it. Conquer the Galaxy with Master of Orion. This 90s video game is a turn-based 4 times science fiction strategy game, which was released in 93. Again, I don't remember or even know what a Master of Orion is, but I'm sure some of my nostalgic friends out there do. Number 12 on the list is Warcraft, the 90s video game franchise of novels, video games, and movies designed by Blizzard Entertainment. Warcraft is a blend of 5 core games. The first 3 are real-time strategy games. Also, its World of Warcraft's version of the online game is the 4th best-selling game with multi... Oh. Okay, so World of Warcraft. Originally Warcraft, right? I don't know. Again, if you guys missed it, I've been playing RuneScape for 23 years. I've never ventured far out from it. Back in the day when I was like a kid, you either played RuneScape or you played World of Warcraft. You never really played both. It was kind of like one of those made up, one or the other type things. But I did play a little bit of World of Warcraft actually pretty recently. I think with the newest expansion. Actually, I think I'm still paying for my subscription. I should probably cancel that since I don't really play anymore. But I did get kind of into it with the newest expansion. I was playing retail probably for about 2 or 3 months. Again, right back to RuneScape after that. Welcome anybody on TikTok. I appreciate you guys. Thank you all for joining in, and good morning. For those on TikTok who have not heard and want to hear it again, TikTok is being a bum and not letting me stream correctly, so that's why you're seeing me on my phone and not how everybody else is seeing me. So if you'd like to see the list, the TVs, and all the good stuff behind me, other than this one, of course you can see that one, you can join us over on Twitch and YouTube where you can see the full effect. But I do appreciate you all and all the love on TikTok. You guys are amazing. Number 13, Star Wars Dark Forces. The 90s video game Star Wars Dark Forces is a first-person shooter game. It was developed and published by LucasArts in 1995. In the initial release, the game was created for MS-DOS, and later in 1996, Star Wars was available on PlayStation. It's based on, yeah. Tons and tons of Star Wars games. Again, Star Wars wasn't my thing, surprisingly, but I never really got into the whole Star Wars things. Never was really into the. I played one of the games with my buddies back in the day. Oh, there was an online one, isn't there? Isn't there an online Star Wars game? I think I've played that a little bit. But again, hopefully this is a super nostalgic for somebody. So moving right along. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. I appreciate all of the love. Number 14 on the list is A Need for Speed is a 90s video game franchise. It was developed by Ghost Games and published by Electronic Arts in 1994. Fill your life with speed by Play Need for Speed on various platforms, including 3DO, MS-DOS, Windows, PlayStation, and Sega Saturn. The Speed series rests on some, I think it's supposed to be illegal street racing. Need for Speed Underground, Need for Speed Underground 2, those were my bags. I think those were a little later than the 90s, but I don't... Wasn't the original Need for Speed was overhead view, wasn't it? I'm almost for certain that Need for Speed was overhead view, but I could be wrong. The original Need for Speed, I mean, just like the original Grand Theft Auto. Number 15 is Quake. Now, I've heard a lot about Quake. Never personally played Quake myself. Wasn't a game that I was really into. Find your path through puzzles like medieval environments, fighting with monsters with diverse weapons. Quake, the first person shooting video game, was introduced in 1996. It was developed by ID Software and published by GT Interactive. The Quake video game was the first one in the Quake series. Yeah. Was Quake a book? I feel like Quake has like a huge what do you call it? Like a huge, like, I don't want to say backstory, but it's got like oh, what do you call it? Um I don't know. I can't even think of the words right now. But yeah, I know there's a huge like, oh man, I don't even know. I'm losing my words for Quake. But there it is. There's Quake nostalgia for somebody somewhere out there. Good morning, and welcome in everybody. Number 16 on the list is a Resident Evil. Resident Evil, specifically Resident Evil 2, was my game. I love playing Resident Evil 2. I remember, what was it? I was playing Leon's A game and got a B minus. Now, I don't know if many of you out there know about Resident Evil 2, or, maybe I'm just talking gibberish to most of you. But getting a B minus on Resident Evil 2 was, I mean, as like a 12-year-old, or maybe even younger, was absolutely awesome. I mean, you pretty much had to like take no damage from zombies, like don't heal, and I mean, it was a pretty crazy time. I was like, I remember I was being super excited at my friend's house, went outside, like jumping up and down. I was like, no way, I just got a B minus on Resident Evil 2. But again, Resident Evil, the 90s video games introduced in 1996 involving fun with zombies. I don't know about fun. Back then I was scared. It was developed and published by Capcom. The Japanese video game company Resident Evil is a survival horror series created by some Japanese name and some other Japanese guy named. Sorry, I'm horrible at names, especially ones that I can't pronounce. There is an action horror film series. Yep, of course. Everybody, I mean, Resident Evil, the movies were even kind of good. And I think I've only seen like, I don't remember if there's 3 or 4 movies, but I know I've seen like 1 or 2 of them at least. Again, a lot of nostalgia for me coming from Resident Evil. Again, especially Resident Evil 2 specifically. All right, number 17, Final Fantasy 7. Okay, if there was a, oops, sorry guys, I hit my mic. If there was a TikTok, jeez. If there was a, excuse me, a game, as somebody who's only played a handful of the Final Fantasies, like I haven't played every single one of them, so I can't speak for all Final Fantasies. So, good morning, everybody. Good morning on TikTok. But Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8, and Final Fantasy 10. Those 3 Final Fantasies, in my opinion, again, I haven't played them all. In my opinion, those 3 Final Fantasies were probably the best Final Fantasies. I remember playing Final Fantasy 8 like it was going out of style. I did play Final Fantasy 7. Not as much as 8 and 10, though. Those 2 were definitely my type of games. But Final Fantasy 7, the 7th edition in the Final Fantasy series, it was rolled out in 1997, a role-playing game developed by Square for a PlayStation console platform. The story of the game is based on a professional soldier who joins an eco-terrorist company to seize a mega corporation from utilizing the planet's life essence. Again, Final Fantasy is definitely a huge staple in the 90s video games. Coming in at number 18 on the list is Diablo. I'm sure if you've played video games from the 90s of any sorts, then you know probably what Diablo is. What was it? I can't say just. It's probably been 2 years, but I've played, is it Diablo 3 or whatever came out, 2 years ago? I got a little bit into that. Again, wasn't a huge Diablo fan. So I'm not 100% for sure on the Diablo. I can't speak too much on Diablo. I mean, it's like you run dungeons, and that's kind of it. I think. I mean, I'm sure there's like different variations to the gear and all that lovely jazz. But Diablo is a series of games based in the fantasy world of Sanctuary. It is an action role playing hack and slash dungeon crawler video game series. It is a bag of three core games: Diablo, Diablo 2, Diablo 3. This 90s video game was developed by Blizzard Entertainment. Yes, it was. And Diablo is I mean, it's just one of those games. You hear it, you know it. Yeah, it's definitely a staple for sure. Coming in at number 19 on the list, GoldenEye 007. This was definitely, very, very, very nostalgic here. I think I might actually have it. I'm pretty sure I have GoldenEye. I mean, if you own a Nintendo 64 or well, that says Super Nintendo. I don't much remember playing it on the Super Nintendo. More of the Nintendo 64. But that was definitely a must-have game, GoldenEye. I remember, I don't know if I even played much of the storyline. I think it was just more playing with my buddies, running around, shooting, trying to shoot each other and stuff. I do kind of vaguely remember playing a little bit though. GoldenEye was sprung from the 1995 James Bond movie GoldenEye. The first-person shooter video game was developed by Rare and published by Nintendo in 1997. The player is imitating the role of intelligence agent James Bond and fights against a criminal syndicate. It's also a split-screen multiplayer mode. That's pretty much what I did, was the split screen with friends. And thank you all on TikTok. I appreciate those 1.3K likes. Thank you. And if you guys are not, make sure that you follow for your daily nostalgia. I try to post nostalgia daily. So make sure you're following, if not on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch. We're live on all three, man. Come join us. Make sure you stay. The nostalgia is real. All right, number 20 on the list already is Half-Life. So I don't think I ever really played Half-Life. I don't know if Gary's mod had anything to do with this. I remember playing Gary's mod. And I could be way wrong on that. I have absolutely not a clue. But introduced in the late 90s, Half-Life Opposing Forces is a first-person shooter game and part of an expansion pack published by Sierra Studios. Half-Life was developed by Gearbox Software Valve in April 1999. Half-Life 90 video game was a game changer in the first-person shooting game. You guys will have to let me know on Half-Life. Again, it wasn't much of a game that I personally played. I appreciate all those likes on TikTok. Thank you guys very much. All the support. You guys are super awesome. Introduced in the late 90s, Half-Life Opposing Forces. Oh, wait, no, I just read that, didn't I? Duh. All right, number 21, Microsoft Flight Simulator 98. I guess, sure, it is a game. I was never into the flying games, I guess. I always thought that this was just training for pilots. Microsoft Flight Simulator 98 is a 90s video game released in the mid-1997 for Microsoft Windows platform. It was published by Microsoft Corporation and Ubisoft. And if you want to be a pilot, Microsoft Flight Simulator 98 is the game for you. It lets you armchair pilot, take control of real aircraft and fly over 3D cities. Yeah, we'll say 3D. Back then, maybe 3D. But again, I guess if you were into flying, if you're into planes, if you were into anything like that, I'm sure the Microsoft Flight Simulator was a game for you. Wasn't a game for me. Again, I wasn't into flying or anything like that. But number 22 is StarCraft. Again, not a game I play too much. And hopefully it brings back some nostalgia for somebody. But StarCraft is a real-time strategy game that was released in 1998. This 90s video game was developed and published by Blizzard Entertainment. It was created by Chris Metzen and James Finney for Microsoft. Classic Mac OS, and Nintendo 64. It revolves around galactic thrash for supreme... Let's see? I don't know. If you know what it's about, let me know, because I definitely don't. But I appreciate all those likes. Look at you guys go over there on TikTok. Thank you very much. And for all the support everywhere else, you guys are awesome. So again, StarCraft wasn't my game. I can't speak too much on it. I don't know really anything about it. Number 23, probably one of the best, even though I wasn't personally into it, but Legend of Zelda of Time. Ocarina, there we go. The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time is the fifth in the series in the Legend of Zelda game series. It is an action adventure 90s video game developed and published by Nintendo for the Nintendo 64 platform. The 3D graphic game controls Link in the fantasy land of Hyrule on a mission to prevent Ganondorf, the king of, oh man, I don't know much about this in these big old fancy Zelda words, but 23, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Again, wasn't a huge Zelda fan, but I know a lot of people absolutely love that one. Number 24, Grim Fandango. I have absolutely not a clue. I'm not sure what this is. Not a clue in the world. Developed and published by LucasArts. Grim Fandango is an adventure-packed 90s video game directed by Tim Schafer. It was released in 1998 for Windows platform. The game is set in the land of the dead, from where lately deceased souls, symbolized as Kalaka, travel before they arrive at their ultimate. I don't know what this is. This seems pretty weird as well. But if somebody remembers what Grim Fandango is, let me know, because I have not a single clue. Welcome everybody on TikTok. Thank you all for joining in. And if you guys have any input, please let me know. Let me know what your favorite game from the 90s is. And maybe it might not even be on this list. Number 25, Thief, The Dark Project. The name sounds familiar. The game itself, I don't remember. I remember the name, like the game Thief. I remember seeing something about it. Thief, The Dark Project was released on 30th of November 1998 for Microsoft Windows platform. Thief is composed by Eric something and developed by Looking Glass Studios. The 90s video game is set up in a medieval style steampunk city where the player becomes the protagonist Garrett. He is the trainer, master thief skilled by a secret society while performing various robberies. Oh boy, so I'm guessing the game's title says it all. You become a master thief. Moving on, 26, Pokemon Snap. Pokemon Snap was one of the first console games for the Pokemon series, and it was also a spin-off in the series. It's a first-person rail shooter and simulation 90s video games that was released in 1999. The Pokemon Snap was developed by HAL Laboratories and PAX something and published by Nintendo for Nintendo 64. I believe was Pokemon Snap wasn't it the thing that you had to have the special controller for, like the special adapter or something for? I don't remember specifically. I do remember there's actually a way to beat this game. I think you have to go around and get like the perfect pictures of the Pokemon as you're traveling the Pokemon verse or whatever. But what is that? Oh, okay, never mind. Number 27, The Sims. I mean, The Sims they're still a staple, and there's a huge following of The Sims. I see people posting all the time about The Sims, and people still play The Sims like it's crazy. The Sims is one of the best-selling 90s video games of all time. It was initially released in 2000, and the latest update came in June 2018. The Sims is a life simulation game series which was developed by Maxis in the Sims studio and published by Electronic Arts. All games in the series are majorly sandbox games. The Sims Herbs. I don't know if anybody remembers playing The Sims Herbs. But that was definitely one of the games that I played growing up. I'm not a huge Sims fan, but I can see why a bunch of people actually are. I can see it. Like, it's just like living a second life through a video game. You get to, do whatever you want with your Sim, build your own house, live your own life, do your own thing. But I do specifically remember playing The Sims Herbs as a kid. Welcome everybody on TikTok. And again, if you guys don't know and don't know already, TikTok is being dumb and they won't let me stream like from my desktop. So now you see me on my phone. But if you'd like to see everything else that everybody else is seeing, such as the list and all that lovely jazz, we are live on Twitch and YouTube as well. And don't forget to, you know, follow and all that lovely jazz. Follow, like, share, and yeah. Woo! Number 28 is Halo. I mean, I'm sure I don't have to speak too much on Halo. Hey, one for all. What's going on, brother? Good morning. Halo was created in 2001. The Halo I mean, I don't really have to speak too much about Halo. Everybody, I mean, I wish I was gonna try to do. I was gonna try to do the Halo guy's voice, but I don't think I'm that good. Anyways, moving on. It was, I mean, if you know video games, Halo, I'm not even sure why it was. Did it come out in 2001? Why is it on the 90s list, bruh? Welcome in, everybody. Thank you all for joining. Number 29, Battlefield 1942. I was never into Battlefield. It was more of like a Call of Duty kid, I guess. Battlefield 1942 is a 90s video game developed by EA Dice and published by Electronic Arts. It was released in 2002 for Microsoft Windows. First person sequel. Wait a minute. Why are these on here if they're not in the 90s, bro? These are not in the 90s. These are definitely. This just says it was released in 2002. Get off my list, bro. Prince of Persia. The critically acclaimed. I remember playing some Prince of Persia games. What is it like? Almost like an Assassin's Creed before Assassin's Creed. The critically acclaimed Prince of Persia 90s video game was released in 1989. It was developed and published and designed by Broderbund and Jordan Mechner, respectively, for the Apple II. The game is arranged in an ancient Persia, where the central character has to undertake various prisons to beat the Grand Vizier, Jafar, and rescue an imprisoned princess. I mean, again, I remember more of like an Assassin's Creed style game. Like, I believe it was like a side scroller, like runner. I don't remember too much. I just remember playing vaguely. Number 31 on the list is WoW. It's WoW. It's World of Warcraft. I mean, who can beat the one who has no life other than the sword of 1,000 truths? There's a little South Park thing for you guys. But World of Warcraft, I mean, it's nostalgic. It's a huge game, and it's still widely popular to this day. If you don't know what World of Warcraft is, then you should probably look it up because it's definitely worth. I mean, again, I've played it recently. I was never into it like in my younger days. But World of Warcraft, aka WoW, is a mid-90s video game of the Warcraft series, developed and published by Blizzard Entertainment. It is an MMORPG where players pierce into the world of Azeroth. It is a fantasy territory of swords and sorcery, exotic races, mythical creatures, world turmoil, and war. The Horde versus the Alliance. If you know, then you know. That's World of Warcraft. Number 32 is Far Cry. Nope, that says 2004. Why is this on my list? This list is wrong. Let's see. Medal of Honor. Here we go. I know Medal of Honor has been around for a while. European Assault, I don't know specifically, is the 8th in the Medieval Honor series, a first-person shooter video game. This 90s video game was released for various platforms such as GameCube, PS2, and Xbox. The storyline of the game was written by somebody, John Millennial, or something. It is based on Lieutenant Williams Holt and his deployment to relate forces in several, or wait, yeah, retaliate forces in several countries. Again, Medal of Honor, I know, was, a war game. Again, I was more playing Call of Duty than I was like Medal of Honor or any of the other war type games. But I know there's a lot of following for Medal of Honor. There's tons of Medal of Honor games. It's just like World of Warcraft. I actually have, I don't know, I have like 2 or 3 of the games behind me. But specifically, I've never really played them personally. But that's number 33. Hopefully, we are bringing back a lot of nostalgia for somebody in here tonight, or tonight, this morning. Number 34, The Godfather. I feel like some of these games are not released in the 90s. Like I'm just trying to. Yeah, see, The Godfather was released in 2006. Why is this on my 90s list, bro? Are they just like putting list things on here that are just like related to stuff? I don't know. Twilight Princess, I'm pretty sure that was not the 90s. Titan Quest, here we go. Titan Quest. Uh Titan Quest release in the genre of action role playing and hack and slash was developed by Iron Lore Entertainment. See, I don't even know. Is this one? I have like a feeling that this list is way wrong. Yeah, this one was. Why is this came out in 2006? Super Mario Galaxy, I know for sure. Why are these on? Dude, I wonder how many games I've actually talked about that didn't actually come out in the freaking 90s. Probably this whole list. Look, 50 most popular 90s video games that define a generation. I don't think the last couple on this list has been from the 90s, bro. A little disappointing. All right, I think we found one. I'm pretty sure Pokemon Red and Blue came out in the 90s, didn't it? Ah, there we go. Now we're back on track. So, finally, number 39 on this list. We're back on track. Pokemon Red and Blue. I played the heck out of these. I don't even think I personally owned a Game Boy growing up. Um, but I know my friends did. Maybe I did. I don't know. I mean, I remember playing Pokemon. I mean, Pokemon is still huge. I have actually Charizard tattooed on my back. Um, I remember red, blue, yellow. Was it leaf green, fire? Or wait, no. Yeah, was it leaf green, fire red, and they were all kind of the similar. Pokemon Red and Blue versions are the first ever in the Pokemon game series. It's a role playing 90s video game developed and published by Game Freak and Nintendo for Game Boy. The player in the game has to control the protagonist from an overhead perspective and plot a route for him throughout the fictional. I don't. You have to take Ash and catch Pokemon and beat the gym leaders. Everybody knows what Pokemon is. Uh, Number 40, Unreal. I remember Unreal Tournament. Is that what this is? Unreal, a 90s video game where the player plays the part of Prisoner 849, was introduced in May 1998. It was developed by Epic Mega Games, Digital Extremes, and Legend Entertainment, and published by GT Interactive. I'm glad this kind of came up because I do vaguely remember something about Unreal. It was the Unreal Tournament, Unreal something. I appreciate all the likes and love over on TikTok. I'm not ignoring you guys. You guys are there, and I much appreciate every single one of you for all the support. Thank you very much. I don't know if Unreal and Unreal Tournament were two different games, but I know like no, I think Unreal Tournament was more newish. It not I can't say newish, but newer than 98. And it was just like small map PvP, wasn't it? I do believe. Um, but Unreal, sorry, I just got a random message. Unreal Tournament coming in at number 40 on this list. All right. Number 41, Duke Nukem 3D. Oh man, Duke Nukem was a game. What the hell was it? I'm here to do two things: chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum. Duke Nukem probably had some of the best like in-game lines ever. This dude was spitting fire in the 90s. The game features the character of Duke Nukem, who's on a quest to fight off alien invasion. Duke Nukem 3D is considered, alongside games like Wolfenstein 3D, to have made FPS games popular. Of course, Duke Nukem's catchphrases were awesome. Hold on, I want to see if I can look up. Duke Nukem quotes. There's actually a freaking quote list from him. Let's see. Caution, Duke Nukem's. I'm your worst nightmare, you uninvented alien scumsucker. All right, now you're all that stands between me and the planet full of babes. So get ready to bend over and kiss your ass goodbye, dude. Uh, Duke Nukem just was like he had the best like little quotes. If you have time, go look up Duke Nukem quotes. Guaranteed to make you laugh for sure. They're just absolutely hilarious. Duke Nukem quotes. Number 42, Metal Gear Solid Snake. Who remembers Snake from Metal Gear Solid? I know. I don't know if Metal Gear is still around. I did play a little bit of Metal Gear. It wasn't much for me. I wasn't much of a sneaky guy. I was more of a like a rusher. I wanted to rush in there and just kill everybody, kill everything. But with Metal Gear, you definitely had to like sneak and hide and wait around for the enemies to hit the right position just so you could go take them out. But Metal Gear, released in 1998, this Hideo Fujimiya something masterpiece, was the first 3D stealth game which brought the genre to the mainstream. It is also the best-selling Metal Gear game, which that may be true, maybe not. That I don't know. But number 42 is Metal Gear Solid, definitely a prime staple of video games. Number 43. Okay, I know this game has a lot of popularity, and I know it's vaguely expensive. But Chrono Trigger. I don't think I've ever really played Chrono Trigger, but I know a lot. Being a retro video game collector, I know it's a very sought after game. I know it is kind of pricey. I wonder what the current price actually is for Chrono Trigger here. Is it just not going to tell me? There we go. Pricing chart. Chrono Trigger. Yeah. So a loose version of Chrono Trigger is like $230. That's crazy. There's one that sold for 40,000 graded. That's wild. Yeah, so you're definitely $230. It's so crazy, some of the prices of these like retro video games. Developed for SNES, Super Nintendo by Square, this game saw a dream team of designers working on it, which included Akara, man, these Japanese names kill me, of Dragon Ball fame. It is an RPG in which players travel back in time to save the world from annihilation. Chrono Trigger was a massive success, and it's considered one of the best games ever made. I feel like I should have to play this. Like, I feel like I'm just gonna have to like buckle down and play it. Not paying $200 some for it, but I know a guy who has it, and I'm sure he'll let me just play it. Number 44 is Baldur's Gate. I know Baldur's Gate just released a new game not long ago. It was kind of popular there for a minute. Again, it wasn't really a game that I was into, but this was the game that made BioWare the RPG giant that it is now. Published in 1998, Baldur's Gate was based on ooh, Dungeons, excuse me, Dungeons and Dragons, and it's dang set the standard for future RPGs. As an RPG guy myself, uh, I don't know. I'm not sure. Like, again, I was so stuck in like RuneScape that I never ventured outside of RuneScape too much. Growing up in my little video game era there, and again, still play RuneScape. But for those who did play Baldur's Gate, hopefully this is a little nostalgic kickback for you. Number 45, we're closing in on the end of this list already. Unreal Tournament. Okay, so see, there must have been Unreal and then Unreal Tournament, because I remember playing Unreal Tournament. Released in 1999, Unreal Tournament was supposed to be the expansion for Unreal, but it became a standalone game. This game was purely multiplayer based and received a critical and commercial success due to the immense amount of content found in game. I don't remember immense amount of content in Unreal Tournament. I just remember the PvP aspect of it. Again, I wasn't super into it. I remember playing it with some buddies back in the day, but I believe didn't they? It might have been a few, when I say few, maybe like 5+ years ago, that they actually shut down the Unreal Tournament servers. I believe. I could be wrong on that. Let me know if I'm wrong on that, but I'm almost for certain that they shut down the Unreal Tournament servers just a few years ago, and it looks like we need a movie change in the background already. So Unreal Tournament. Hopefully that brings back some PvP nostalgia for some of you out there. Coming in at number 46, I played the heck out of this game, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Did you even play video games back in the day if you didn't play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater? I've probably spent hours upon hours upon hours on this game. I mean, just the Tony Hawk like series in itself, from like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 all the way up to like Tony Hawk Underground 2. Those skateboarding games were my games. Now I never really was like an outside skateboarder. Like if I got on a skateboard, it wasn't really for me. I was more into like BMX, like Dave Mirra and stuff. But the Tony Hawk games are still the nostalgic staple that will always be. Again, if you have not played any of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, I highly recommend it. It's definitely bringing back some memories for sure. Number 47 is Ultima Online. So the name Ultima Online sounds very familiar. But I don't think I've ever really played it. This MMORPG was released in 1997 and is going strong to this day. Oh, okay. So, okay. Ultima Online has since it's released, seen 8 expansion packs, and has also made it to the Guinness Book of World Records 8 times. Okay, so what am I missing out? What is Ultima Online? Like, apparently this must be a game. Wow, I mean, it's still. Now, last update was 6/17 of 25. That's crazy. Welcome everybody on TikTok. Thank you. Welcome. I've never. Hold on. Now I'm looking into this. What is this? Okay. Gotcha. This is definitely. All right. Now that I see what Ultima Online is, man, it kind of vaguely brings back memories. I can't believe people like still play this. That's wild. I'm gonna have to look in more into that. Ultima Online. I might actually be a game worth playing. Let's see, number 48, Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. The third game. Okay, so this was the third game in the Zelda series. Link on his quest to save Hyrule from Ganon. Link to the Past is one of the best-selling SNES games of all time, selling 4.6 million copies. That I had no clue. But good. Oh, look, time for a movie change. All right, movie change. The only ones who can really see that are the guys on TikTok. Everybody else, you guys are seeing the fake TV in the background. Which actually, we go ahead and change the channel on that too. Let's see where we at here. Talk shows. There we go. All right. Moving right along. Welcome everybody. Thank you for all the love and support. I appreciate it. And if you're not following, make sure to follow me on TikTok, Twitch, YouTube. Subscribe, like, and share. Thank you. Moving right along. 49, the last two on the list. Spyro the Dragon. I love Spyro. Still do. I think I actually have... I do. I own the whole Spyro series. I think it's 3 PS1 games and like 4. Okay, I can't say every because there might be a new Spyro that I don't. I think there's 4 or 5 PS2 versions, and I'm pretty sure I own pretty much all of them. Spyro was made by Insomniac Games in 1998 for PlayStation. It was a platforming game that followed the adventures of a purple dragon named Spyro. The original trilogy recently saw a reboot titled Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Okay, yes. So maybe I don't have the newest Spyros, but I definitely have the PS1 and PS2 Spyros. I love playing Spyro 1. The original Spyro is definitely awesome. In a game that if you have not played, you have to. You have to go play it right now. Go play Spyro. You won't regret it. Not one bit. And last but not least on the list, number 50 is Crash Bandicoot. If you don't know Crash Bandicoot, you pretty much just ran a maze and tried to run away from like the big giant boulder or not hit the holes, or if you don't know what Crash Bandicoot is, you're definitely going to have to go play that too as well. Crash Bandicoot is another super staple of the 90s video games. Crash Bandicoot is a platform game developed for Sony's PlayStation by Naughty Dog. You take on the role of a genetically enhanced bandicoot named Crash. Crash, alongside with Spyro, became such a hit that both of them were made the mascots for the PlayStation. I was not aware of that, but that is pretty awesome to know that. Again, this was kind of PC Quest top 50 90s video games, but as we found out in their list that some of those games were not from the 90s. But that will do it all for me this morning. Hopefully, I brought you guys back some nostalgic memories and that you guys have a great rest of your day. But that will be it for me. And I thank every single one of you for showing up. All the love, the support, the likes, the shares, the comments, the follows, the everything. It means so much to me. And like I said before, if you're not already, make sure you hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Follow button on Twitch, and make sure to follow me over on TikTok as well. Hopefully by next week we'll have everything figured out so I can stream just from one thing and you guys don't have to watch me from my phone. But until next time, I really appreciate every single one of you, and always remember, stay fresh, stay fly, and keep it 90s, my friends. Peace.